Nyongji Khenpo Den Nyingma Lineage Zhongnim Holam Khenpo Ngabja Tap Pakirtangan Santo Shirmado Tumba Tukje Chanla Kipshan Sar. Hi everyone, thank you for joining this teaching, a guide to the Bodhisattva's way of life, and I hope you all doing well. First of all, as usual, don't forget to correct your motivation before we start the teaching. So take a moment and send positive thoughts, love, compassion, bodhicitta to all living beings. As a Mahāyāna Buddhist practitioner, every single attitude of the body, speech, and mind we have to examine. And must not mix with our ego, selfish mind, not mixed with any other negative emotions. So it's very important to check and investigate and then correct. We must develop human qualities. That means we need some instructions and methods how to deal with our emotions and how to eliminate, how to reduce them. Some emotions, when we investigate our thoughts, and sometimes people are a little bit confused and eliminate or reduce emotions because some emotions need to be abandoned and some need to be cultivated at certain times for developing our human qualities. So, for example, there are two different desires. The desire that causes us to develop bodhicitta, and desires that cause us to practice and attain enlightenment. It is a method to transform everything into love, compassion, bodhicitta, into wisdom, right? So desire. And on the other hand, the desire that causes of suffering and samsara in our lives and bring us dissatisfaction. That one, I think we have to reduce that kind of desire. So you see the motivation is different. From my own experience, practice satisfaction and bodhicitta is the best way to practice in order to become a stronger practitioner. So as usual, like every morning, I think about bodhicitta and contemplate on all sentient beings are just like myself in wanting happiness, not wanting suffering, and go deeper and to kind of understand what I want, what I don't want. If you contemplate on that, all sentient beings just like that, right? So then I feel very deeply connected with everyone. And that brings me a real sense of bodhicitta, love. And I think about how many human beings suffering from different kinds of situation right now. I think about how many animals suffering right now. Uh, Remember last time we talked about like 300 animals are slaughtered every single second. Do you remember that? Think about 300 animals died right now, and then 300 more, and then 300 more, like in a single, every single second like that. So I think like that every morning, every day, as much as I can. And sometimes it's so powerful. It makes me very like emotionally sensitive, and brings, I feel like very deeply so connected to with those with all sentient beings, kind of mentally. And through this kind of practice, sometimes I really feel deeply sort of like like ignore myself and really want to help others as much as I can. So this kind of realization is not my intellectual thinking. When I say, oh, correct your motivation, send, positive thoughts, love, compassion to all sentient beings, like just like most like we're doing is kind of intellectually, we don't really feel it. There is no this kind of deep connection. I mean, it's still good, yeah, but it's not genuine. So as a Mahāyāna Buddhist practitioner, we really need to investigate ourselves and our practice where we are. When we practice like that, do we have these things like intellectual understanding, or experientially like there is a realization or deep connections like that? We have to check ourselves all the time rather than judge others. Uh, so it's some of you are Buddhist practice Buddhism for a long time. So especially those people, you have to really like see yourself where you are, how much experience, how much, you know, bodhicitta. Otherwise, just um, everything is same as before or maybe worse. That's not how we should practice Buddhism. But this kind of like deep connection or realization, it's very temporary, if you don't practice enough. Then it goes back to, like, for example, if I feel like all sentient beings suffering, like sometimes I feel like I am suffering, like when I think about, oh, that's like that kind of close connection I had. But then, the selfish mind, ego mind, like then it's just very temporary. I have that experience, but then goes back to my intellectual thinking, and then, oh, what should I do today? Oh, what should I eat today? And then just go back to I and myself. So, and sometimes I can really see, clearly my selfish ego mind wants to harm others, um, for the sake of my own happiness. In So that is really negative, but it's very difficult to eliminate it because um, have a strong habit. So mm, you might think that when I teach right before we start the teaching, I always say, correct your motivation. You heard this many times. Correct your motivation. This is very important and very profound practice. If you really recognize, if you really do it, everything is there, right there. Everything, your practice, you can feel it. But if you don't sort of, oh yeah, little bit think intellectually and then, okay, now I'm listening, then you feel really nothing. When you correct your motivation, you have to feel something. Otherwise, you're not doing it correctly, or there's no genuine sort of Mahāyāna motivation. So what I'm trying to say is that if you practice bodhicitta like that, 100% it will work. I guarantee you. It brings me, like, satisfaction for myself in my life. It makes me value others' life. When I practice bodhicitta like that, in each and every time, like I think like, oh, I have everything, I'm fine, I'm happy, I have good life, I'm good. So it brings me satisfaction. But then it makes me the value others' life means like, oh, others need this kind of life, happy, um, life with satisfaction, with happiness, with enjoyment. So I can see that kind of value, like not just always me, me, me. Bodhicitta does that. It brings me confidence, sort of faith, unchangeable faith in bodhicitta. Like I 100% believe that if I practice bodhicitta, I can see it. It can change my um, actions and um, activities, I'm not saying that I am a great practitioner, but I'm saying that I'm trying to practice bodhicitta, and I can see that it works. Because bodhicitta is so powerful. So it really works. I can see that. So if it works for me, it works for you. What is different? We all human beings. We all have negative thoughts and emotions. We all have, at the same time, positive thoughts and good qualities as a human being. So that's why I just like something is working, then why we don't do it? Enlightenment and all this um, you know know something about in the future. Uh, we don't know because we don't have this kind of experience. But bodhicitta is the best uh, Mahāyāna teachings and practice and best friend and best solution. If we develop bodhicitta, almost I think all these problems and suffering that we have in our daily life, I think almost we can get rid of that. So please practice bodhicitta as much as you can, because with this practice, we will begin to see how selfish our mind is and how deeply ingrained our habitual patterns are. Remember, Buddha said that freedom is happiness. Being controlled by negative, selfish mind is suffering. So here, being controlled by others is suffering. Other means not you, for example, somebody can control my life, not that. The other means here, being controlled by others. Freedom is happiness. Being controlled by others is suffering. Others means selfish ego mind, negative thoughts and emotions. That's all. So being controlled by negative, selfish mind is suffering. Shantideva said, all suffering that there is, our selfish mind caused it. So if that's the thing, then what should we do? Practice bodhicitta, abandon the selfish mind. Because we can reduce, right? Like when we practice bodhicitta, we can reduce selfish mind. So then why we cannot like abandon completely this selfish mind? That's why we're practicing the way of the bodhisattva, which is everything is about bodhicitta. Bhattan, which you also said, there is only one thing that we need to become completely enlightened. And that one thing is bodhicitta. If we lack bodhicitta practice, we will not become enlightened, no matter how much we practice. That's kind of like long-term goal. If it's because our efforts are based on selfishness, right? Without bodhicitta, practice bodhicitta, me, I want to practice me, I want a happiness, I. So that all these efforts, if you practice um, every day, 1 hour, 2 hours, and your motivation based on the selfishness, then we will not become enlightened, no matter how much you practice every day. We have two problems. Most people don't practice because practice is not easy because of habits. We have this controlled by others is suffering, that one, right? Don't practice. Lots of people do not want to practice. And some people want to practice, but just motivation is me. I want to do this. I'm suffering. I have my life is difficult. It's just me, based on the selfish ego mind. And then your practice is not genuine. It brings, Patrick, which said that it's too bad most people don't practice. If they do, they could easily develop bodhicitta, a kind mind. So practice in a kind mind is the essential point. Through that, we can clearly see what is dharma and what is not dharma. So this practice alone gives us a great chance to put dharma practice into our daily life. It's very simple, yet very profound. No matter how much we know about Buddhist teachings or how much we do, it's all pointless without a kind mind, bodhicitta. It's easy to do dharma activities such as, recite reciting the mantras, saying the prayers, making offerings, and things like that. With the selfish mind, bring nothing but arrogant. Oh, I do this. But genuine dharma, which includes all these activities, actually means based on a kind mind. So you have to think carefully and take seriously when I say correct your motivation. Sometimes, from my own experience, long time, like where I was in Tibet and received teachings when I was very young, and my teachers always say like this: correct your motivation. And I heard that every single day, and then just sometimes I feel nothing, So that means like I'm not taken seriously. Now I can see it. You should make sure that that's not happened to you. Okay, so that's that correct motivation. Now I'm going to pick up where I left off last class. As you know, this second chapter has 4 sections, right? The offering section, prostration section, the refuge section, and then confession negative deeds section. 4 sections. Right now we are on the offering section, and offering section, it has the 5 parts, right? Offering that actually assembled, offering that are mentally created, offering made through power of aspirations, etc. So today we are on the power of aspiration section, the root text, 20th stanza. Deli yang chup zo mo yang nin ye gong dan simchin dungar se shit tunum so ser niger chik. So it says, in addition, may a massive of offering endowed with sweet and pleasing melodies of musical instruments, each remain as a clouds of offering to eliminate the sufferings of living beings. The point is this: to eliminate the sufferings of living beings. We offer these things and practice accumulation, not for us, but to eliminate the suffering of living beings. So here we, according to the Shantidevas, the root text, here we offer beautiful music with sweet melodies and beautiful words of song that can help living beings who are suffering, because when you hear a beautiful song, temporarily it can reduce your stress. Temporarily it can eliminate your suffering, right? When you like hear the beautiful words of songs, and you can, when you hear the beautiful music, you know, it's very powerful, you know, because it can reduce our emotions such as stress, worry, all that. And people also say that the music can make you feel more calm and concentrated. That because, you know, sometimes when you meditate, you play like very gentle music. It makes you feel more calm and concentrated, like, you know, more like enjoyable. So it can make you feel more positive about life, right? Music can have a profound effect on both emotions and the body. So music has an ability to soothe people's mind and relieve the burdens of suffering and stress. Therefore, here we, of course, why not? We offer everything. Here we offer beautiful music with our aspirations, especially like Indian music, so pretty, you know. So maybe Shantideva was really, that's why he mentioned here. Maybe not. There's so many, Shantideva has so many ideas, right? Oh, we can offer this and that. So in this second chapter, Shantideva explains all kinds of offerings. And if you really know how to do it, I think it works. And through these offerings, we'll be able to accumulate merit. right? Purify negative karmas, brings like, you know, harmony relationships, so that bodhicitta will arise in our minds. Through this practice, it can change our negative emotions, the way we see, the way we think, the way we feel, the way we perceive, and so on and so forth. So as Mahāyāna practitioners, we all must have a goal, commitment and discipline. We all have mental struggles and difficulties leading to stress and selfishness. Generally speaking, it's difficult for us to change the whole world, even though we wish. We say like all sentient beings have happiness because it's difficult. But at least if we can reduce our ego and selfish mind and make small changes one by one through bodhicitta meditation, you see, it would be great. As Shantideva said, if we lack power to help others in action, we should always keep the intention to do it. One who has that attention will actually engage in it. Mapam Rinpoche said that. So it's important to keep this Mahāyāna aspiration in our mind. As I said, as a Mahāyāna meditator, we need a goal. We must have a discipline, and okay, this is I'm going to practice, and then eventually this is I want to do. We needed that kind of goal. Right now, at this moment, I don't have a capacity to help others. So that means I need to first develop my capacity. But once I have some, then I will do this, and that. So you make that commitment, you make that a goal. As a Mahāyāna meditator, that kind of right now, the Mahāyāna inspiration in our mind is very important, even though we don't have a lot of capacity at this moment. And we have to trust our practice. As I said, bodhicitta definitely will work if I practice bodhicitta. We have to trust, that our practice and our own ability to deal with all these situations. And we really have to find the best solution for the ego mind and to develop human capacity, qualities. And through the practice of bodhicitta, kind mind, our selfish mind will lose its power. I can see that. Okay. Now the root text, the 21st stanza. Tamchu kumchu tamche dang, choden nam dang gozu la, renchin me to la so cher, jume che per ba per shoy. may rains of precious gems and flowers shower down in an unceasing stream upon all the jewels of holy Dharma and sacred monuments and statues. Okay, this offering is the aspiration for anything that support our practice. It says, may rains of precious gems and flowers shower down and an unceasing stream. It means when the Buddha attained enlightenment, for example, at that time, ancient people believed that the gods of the pure realms let a rain of flowers descend. And also when the Buddha taught secret Dharma, sometimes a rain of flower descended. And this kind of sign also happened in the same way when great practitioners discovered total realization of the Dharma. For example, one of you discovered and achieved enlightenment, then, this kind of sign also happened. Could be, I remember one time a great master passed away in my town in the winter time. And there was a that day, that moment, there was a gentle snow falling down, and the snow flakes were like a shape of flower. I kind of remember when we go outside and put in our our clothes like this, and then the snow flakes fall down, and then we look at it looks like a flower. I think maybe that kind of thing, So it could, this is this offering is aspiration, right, for anything that can help and support our practice. And then it says secret monuments. That means Buddhist stupas, okay? There are so many different kinds of Buddhist stupa, but they are very important 8 types of stupas, which correspond to the 8 activities of the Buddha. So maybe you know these things, maybe you don't know, right? So I thought you might want to know what are the 8 types of stupas. So I will explain them here a little bit. The first, when the Buddha was born in Lumbini, his birthplace in India at that time, right now Lumbini is part of Nepal, but at that time Lumbini was part of India. So he was born in Lumbini. By the way, Lumbini is many people think that Lumbini is the place name, but it's not. Lumbini is I think Buddha's grandmother's name, and she owned that beautiful park. Right now they call it Lumbini. So they just give the name of I think Buddha's grandmother, something like that. But Lumbini is definitely not the place name at that time. I think it was his grandmother's name, something like that. Anyway, so his father built a stupa called Stupa of Heaped Lotus, Pama Pongchotin in Tibet. That's one. And then when the Buddha was 35 years old, he attained Buddhahood, right? And an Indian king built the stupa called Stupa of Enlightenment, built in a Bodhikaya where the Buddha achieved enlightenment. And after reaching enlightenment, the Buddha taught his first students, his 5 disciples. He taught the Four Noble Truths. At that time, they built a stupa called Stupa of Multiple Doors of Spaciousness, Gomang Chotin. And they built, it took place in the Deer Park, right, in Varanasi. Sometimes people say Saranath, whatever, where the Buddha gave the teachings of Four Noble Truths. It's in India right now. And then Buddha was 50 years old. He tamed the 6 non-Buddhist teachers, and they followed the Buddha's teachings in Buddhism. And at that time, his followers built a stupa in Sharvas, they called the stupa of the miracles. And then at 42 years old, Buddha spent a summer retreat in Tushta heaven, where his mother had taken rebirth. And in order to repay his mother's kindness, he taught the Dharma to her reincarnation. And then Buddha came back, he descended again back to India. At that time, local people built a stupa in Senja called the stupa of descending from the Tushta. I've been there, this place called Senja. And then one time there was a very bad division within the Sangha, and that had been divided by the Buddha's cousin, Devadatta, right? Devadatta, in Tibetan called Hivjin. And then he created this very bad division within the Sangha. And then Buddha reunited the Sangha. At that time, his followers built a stupa in Rajagriha called Stupa of, what do they call it? I don't remember the name. They built the stupa in Rajagriha. In Tibetan, Indam Chotin, the stupa of reconciliation, something like that. And then when Buddha extended his lifetime by 3 months, a disciple who asked him to extend his life and build a stupa in Vaishali in India called Stupa of Complete Victory. And then after Buddha passed away, of course, some Indian kings, when Buddha passed away, that time in India is not like now. It's not like one country. Like there are lots of different Indian kings, different places. So they came together and built the final stupa in Kushinagar, where Buddha passed away, right? they called they build stupa, the Parinirvana stupa, Nyangdi Chotin in Tibet. So those are the 8 types of Buddha's activities, stupas. And then here it also says statues, right? There are, of course, lots of beautiful statues. There are many different kinds of statues. But the most famous statue of the Buddha created by I think he's from Tibet, Karma Bushu. His name is Karma Bushu. So this famous statue of Buddha called Jo Rinpoche, and is in Lhasa right now in Tibet capital. That one is the most, I think, famous and blessed stupa, the statue of Buddha. So anyway, these aspiration offerings are for anything that, as I said, supports and develop our practice. So when your motivation and discipline is pure, then whatever prayer we make will truly be fulfilled, right? So that's that. So there are the 3 jewels, the statues, the monument. Here, the monument means stupas, okay? That's that. Now, the next 22nd stanza is Chirtanjamyola sopa, Jarvanam lan chomzatpa, Tibyin dagi tibyin shangumbo tidang jinam chos. The root text, just as Manjingosha and the rest made offerings to all the Buddhas. Likewise, I make offerings to the Tathangatas and all their bodhisattva heirs. Now here the 4th offering is called unsurpassable offering. Lana mitpa. Lana mitpa means the best, the highest, unsurpassable. Chotpa is offering, right? So unsurpassable offering or the highest offering. This offering is when we offer, just as he says, Manjingosha, Manjishuri, and the rest, all other bodhisattvas and Buddhas and masters. So which means we visualize here, like when we offer anything, you know, we visualize the Buddhas, bodhisattvas, and great masters, and at their heart center is hundreds of multicolored light rays, and then on the tip of each light, an imaginable amount of offerings, substances. This is very common, right? This is called the offering clouds of Samandabada, Kunduzambun Chopa in Tibet. So you, for example, you visualize Buddhas, and in his heart center, lots of different kinds of, you know, like multicolored light rays, and then tip of each light, you also visualize all this offering, the best, you know, substances, and then you offer that. That's what we call like Samandabada, the offering clouds of the Samandabada, which is usually what we call unsurpassable offering. Another, you know, unsurpassable offering is, you know, developing bodhicitta, meditating on compassion. These are also unsurpassable offerings. So if you do every day, meditate bodhicitta, meditate compassion, you don't need all these offerings for sure. That's the best, the highest unsurpassable offering, which is developing bodhicitta. So you see, as long as we practice bodhicitta, we're making this unsurpassable offering. But in order to develop in bodhicitta in our mind, we need to practice, right, these offerings and accumulate merit. That's why Shantideva give us all these different kinds of offering practice. Now the next 23rd stanza, Yundan jamso namla da toyang yanglak jamsu to toyang nyanten te da ngipar kundan jongjir che. It means I praise these oceans of qualities with oceans of melodious praise. May these pleasing clouds of melodious praise constantly ascend to their presence. Okay, so this is this is the last and the fifth offering of melodies, topa ingji chopa in Tibetan, which means melodious praise. Okay, so here we offer beautiful, again, melodious praise and with like beautiful words. Kanchen Jingme Panzo composed like beautiful this kind of words, you know, that people can sing in using that words. It's so powerful, which they do in Tibet. And so here we offer beautiful melodies praise and pleasing words with beautiful music to all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas who are oceans of qualities, means who Buddhas, Bodhisattvas who are endowed with oceans of good qualities of compassion, bodhicitta, and who have especially realized the mind of awakening precious bodhicitta. So any kind of prayers and supplications and mantras, when you recite with beautiful melodies and play with the music, is also great offering. So now that is the last, I think the last one. So through this offering practice, we accumulate great merit, and also we meditate on bodhicitta constantly and as much as we can, so that we will be able to generate bodhicitta in our mind. Okay, so here we finished the offering section. Now we have the second. The second is the prestation section, okay? Or the section on paying respect. In Tibetan. So this section, it has two stanzas for this section. And the first, the 24th stanza, Tisum hiak pasan ji kan chudang chok ji chok ji la yang der kan ji tang hi ji lip te bin dak hiak sao to all the Buddhas of the three times, to the Dharma and to the Supreme Assembly, bound down with bodies as numerous as all the atoms within the universe, I will prostrate. So this is the prestation section, which is antidote to pride. Pamasambhava came to Tibet, you know, and the first time he met Tibetan king And they both, like, Pamasambhava thought, I am the best, great, the masters and second Buddha. So Tibetan kin should trusted me. And then Tibetan kin think, I'm a Tibetan kin, so I never trusted to anyone. So Pamasambhava should trust me. And then Pamasambhava knew that, and then he kind of like shows some magic things in front of the Tibetan king in the kingdom people, and then Tibetan king couldn't like stand up, and then just like there's an like naturally he pressed it to Pamasambhava. So if you are arrogant, like, I am the best, I am the highest, then you have to practice like prestations, right? Respect, showing the sort of like, this is the antidote to pride. So first we need to know how to do prestations. I hope I'm sure you know how to do it, but maybe some of you don't know. It's very common, right? So what we need to visualize during that time, when you do prestations. So this is very common Buddhist, another sort of practice. So you have to do it properly. You should know how to do it. So for this practice, we need to visualize ourselves multiplied infinitely. At the same time, we need to visualize that all sentient beings in the universe are prostrating with us. It's also very important to remember to connect our body, speech, and mind during prostrations. So as we prostrate with our body, we should combine this with our speech by saying these stanzas like here, or any other mantra or supplication prayer like Pamasambhava supplication, 7-line supplication prayer, whatever. And then more importantly, we should also combine it with our mind by thinking that we are practicing with all sentient beings, with the bodhicitta, and we have a feeling of devotion and respect towards the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in our lineage, um, visualizations like that, and then the way the different traditions lineage, they have a different way to prostrate, but the way that we uh, prostrate is according to Bhakti Rinpoche. My teachers always told us this. They know how to Bhakti Rinpoche prostrate. So we start by cupping our hands together at our heart and the shape of an open lotus bar with a little bit kind of space inside where we visualize all of the things that we are offering to the Buddha's Bodhisattvas in our, like, open your hands together like this, but inside their space. So we visualize all nature, or all the best things we can offer. So you do that, put your heart center. Then, of course, we place our hands on the top of your head to purify the obscurations of our body. Then you put you put your throat to purify obscurations, our speech, Then to your heart, purify the obscurations of your mind. Then you kneel and touch the floor with our body. They called it the 5 points, which are the forehead, and then 2 palms of your hands and your 2 knees, right? So that's how you very quickly, how you do it. So we do this practice again so that we can purify the obscurations of body, speech, and mind, so that also we offer all these things to the Buddha's bodhisattvas and we accumulate merit so that precious bodhicitta will arise in our mind. That's the point. The second stanza here, Shantideva simji yernam dan chotin namla dakshang sa kambo devyen hopan dan trujung chogla shang salo. To the foundation of bodhicitta and to all stupas, I bow down, likewise to the preceptors and to the masters, as well as to all the noble practitioners. I prostrate. This is the object, right? So here it says to the foundation of bodhicitta. Foundation of bodhicitta means like the statue or images of the Buddha, collections of Mahāyāna teachings, Dharma teachings, and holy places, like such as the birthplace of the Buddha, and masters, or place like holy place where the Dharma is taught and studied, or place where there are representations of body, speech, and mind of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, and all the stupas, and all the here it says preceptors, Khenpo, Hlopen, and then masters who are endowed with great qualities of compassion, have realized the mind of awakened and precious bodhicitta, as well as to all the great Mahāyāna practitioners. Those objects, right, we pay respect and we prostrate to them, so that they're holy objects, so that we can purify and develop bodhicitta, right? So basically, the 3 jewels, we prostrate to the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. That's it. So now we finished 2 sections here, the offering section and prestation section, okay? And next time I will teach the refuge section. So yeah, it will be, I'm not going to start the refuge section today. So next teaching will be the refuge section. That will also help if you come to the May retreat. Lots of people are going to take refuge vows, so we have to understand the refuge. So I'm going to explain that. But that's all for today. Now the meditation. So here, we finished the offering section, so it's our last chance that we can meditate on this offering practice and accumulate merit together as a Sangha. So we should not miss this opportunity, because in group meditation, as you know, is more powerful than individual if we all have a pure motivation. Then it's very powerful group meditation, because then there is a powerful collective sort of energy, right? Positive energy, genuine sense of faith, devotion, trust, and meditating together encourages each other. We are acting as a positive influence, not only on ourselves, but on all of us, like those around us. So when we engage in any form of spiritual practice, such as chanting, praying, teaching, or reading, some of you I know read a lot. All of this, we are accumulating merit if we do them with our pure motivation, right? I teach. If I have a selfish motivation based on that, I teach nothing, pointless. I don't accumulate merit. But if I teach based on my pure motivation, this is also another sort of unsurpassable offering. Accumulate a lot of merit through my teaching. If you read books, Buddhist books, any kind of books, based on, your pure motivation, you're accumulating great merit. So we should think that we are fortunate to have this chance, to, this kind of oral instructions from the Shantideva, the great Bodhisattva, this instruction, like Bodhicitta. So whatever you do based on Bodhicitta motivation, everything causes us, like, accumulate merit, purify negative, karma, all that. So, and then top of that is a group meditation. Everybody, create positive energy and genuine sort of pure motivation, so powerful. So we can accumulate merit together as a Sangha and then practice bodhicitta. That's that, right? Now, the first you should, in order to meditate, of course, relax, let go of your distractions, of course, check in your thoughts, all that, right? And you should breathe naturally and make your mind relax. Then you should visualize Shantideva, who embodies all sorts of refuge in front of you. You visualize him, because he is so precious for us. And we have to kind of recognize his kindness. So you visualize Shantideva, and then you offer your body, your speech, your mind. That's the most like unsurpassable offer things you can, right? Also offer your own positive energy, your spiritual practice, your meditation. 100% sure Shantideva would like to know that you offer your practice, your meditations. So everything that you do with a positive attitude, you offer all kinds of offerings that, of course, we have talked offering section in this chapter, right? So you offer all that for the benefit of all sentient beings. So that's your visualization, right? And then benefit of all sentient beings, then you should also think a little bit about all sentient beings are suffering and send them your bodhicitta, your love, your good thoughts. So that, cultivate that kind of motivation and putting your heart into your practice is the best way to accumulate in merit. And through this kind of meditation, you will be able to develop bodhicitta. Um, um, so when we develop this kind of positive attitudes, we are developing a certain spiritual power, right? And all good things come from it, especially people like us who really want to develop and um, practice bodhicitta. It will work. Okay, so that's it. So if you want, then you visualize the Shantideva in front of you. Once you relaxed, then you offer all these things, and then think about all living beings, the situation, and then at the end, Shantideva dissolve into your heart, and then you meditate relaxation there. That's all. Okay, meditate for 5 minutes. Start it now.